This program was paid for by Richmond Vona, LLC.
Welcome to today's program. I'm Dr. Wendy Walsh. With me today is attorney John Richmond, co-founding partner of Richmond Vona, LLC, a New York State law firm that has recovered over $175 million for their clients. Now, our topic on today's program is personal injury law and the important contribution it makes to those who suffer injury due to the negligent actions of others. John, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Dr. Walsh. I'm happy to be here.
So before we get into our topic today, though, John, I'm sure our viewers would like to learn more about you and the Richmond Vona, LLC law firm. As one of New York's top personal injury law firms, Richmond Vona, LLC has over 30 years of combined experience and are known for their understanding that clients come first. With decades of experience representing plaintiffs, they're also known for their record of successfully holding negligent corporations and big insurance companies liable. John, now don't be shy. I'm going to tell them that you have consistently been selected for inclusion in the New York Super Lawyers Rising Stars list before ultimately being selected as a New York Super Lawyer in 2023. And that is a distinction reserved for the top 5% of attorneys. John was also named a fellow by the Litigation Council of America. And I got to say, you have a very impressive background. How did you happen to choose the practice of law in general as a career?
Sure. So I think I knew from a young age that I wanted to be a lawyer, and ultimately it stemmed from that desire to really want to help people. I grew up a hockey player in Western New York, like a lot of fellow Western New Yorkers. And
so you're not afraid of a fight?
No, not at all. But actually I was a goalie, so more so I was really focused on taking the pressure off my teammates, being reliable for them, and really learning how to prepare for big situations and how to perform under pressure. And that's what we do every day for our clients. And ultimately, I chose the practice of law because I wanted to be there for people when they need me the most.
Now, there are so many areas of law and so many ways to protect people. Why did you choose personal injury?
Honestly, because I want to represent people. I saw at an early age what insurance companies or big corporations do to people who've been seriously injured. And really, they bully them. They try to make sure they don't get compensated for the injuries that they've sustained where they really should be. And at the end of the day, I want to be there for them with a team behind me that works to get them the best results possible and really fights for their rights and doesn't let insurance companies push them around. So personal injury was kind of like a natural fit for me.
And what is the particular focus or approach to personal injury law that, say, differentiates your firm from the other firms out there?
Yeah, I think our biggest thing is our team-first approach. Because if you think about it, to get the best results for people, to give them the ultimate client experience that they really deserve, you need the best people. We're very proud of the culture that we've built and the high level of communication that our people deliver to our deserving clients. Also, we fight really hard for clients. We're not a firm that's just going to take lowball settlement offers. We will take these cases to trial if necessary, and we're very proud of the team of trial lawyers that we've built. And also, we work on contingency fee basis, which means that we don't get paid unless we win. So there's zero financial risk to any of our clients. No one ever pays us a penny out of their pocket. We only get paid if we win on behalf of our clients, so it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I want people to really understand this. There's also a misconception out there. People go, well, I know I don't have to pay, and he only gets money if we win, but what if we lose? Do we owe anything? They still don't owe anything, do they?
That's absolutely right. So we front all of the expenses of a case, and sometimes that can be a considerable amount of money. We only get our expenses back, and we only get attorney's fees if there's a settlement or a trial verdict. That's it. There's no tricks, there's no exceptions. There's no financial risk whatsoever to hiring us, and that's the way we think it should be.
Yeah, and you only take on the cases you know you can win.
Exactly, we try, that's right.
Now, your firm has certainly grown, but it's also known for its very personal approach.
As we grow, we continually add more teammates. We constantly train our teammates to be better. We constantly look for new technology to assist our people in giving our well-deserving clients an edge, or at least level the playing field against the insurance companies. We are not the type of firm that is going to let client communication or our accountability to our clients ever lack. If anything, as we grow, it increases. So we're committed to that. We always will be. And again, it really comes down to our team and a testament to them and how they treat our clients.
Now, as I mentioned in our opening, our topic today is personal injury law. A lot of people are confused about what that actually encompasses. So could you start by defining for us what actually constitutes a personal injury?
Sure. So on a basic level, a personal injury is when someone is injured due to the negligence of somebody else. And if you think about it, whether you're driving a car during the day or you're on somebody's premises or at a business, we all owe each other a duty of care, a duty to be safe, and if we know of dangerous conditions, to warn about them or do something to fix them. And if there's a failure of that duty that then results in an injury, that's essentially what we call negligence, and that's essentially what a personal injury is.
John, you shared some very important information with our viewers. Let's take a moment now to let anyone who has questions about the rights they have if they've suffered serious injury as a result of the negligent actions of others to call our helpline. We'll be right back.
Have you or a loved one been seriously injured due to the reckless or careless actions of another? You may be entitled to significant compensation, and the law firm to call for the legal guidance you need is Richmond Vona LLC. As one of Buffalo and Western New York's top personal injury law firms, Richmond Vona LLC works tirelessly, advocating for the legal rights and financial interests of its clients, successfully recovering over $175 million in verdicts and settlements. At Richmond Vona LLC, their personal injury attorneys have the skills, experience, and tenacity to go up against large corporations and insurance companies in order to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. Whether your injuries are caused by an auto, truck, or bus accident, a dog bite, or an on-the-job injury, or any other reckless or careless action of another, Richmond Vona LLC will help you understand your options and work to protect your rights to a fair recovery. There's no fee unless they win. Call Richmond Vona LLC now.
Welcome back to our show. I'm Dr. Wendy Walsh, and with me today is John Richmond, co-founding partner of Richmond Vona LLC law firm. Our topic on today's program is the protection of the rights of viewers who've been seriously injured as a result of the negligent action of others. I also understand that protecting the rights of auto accident victims is one of your firm's big practice areas. I'm sure many people suffer injury as a result of the actions of others, and do need help, but don't know where to turn. Is there like a typical scenario that leads clients specifically to your firm if they've been in a car accident?
Sure. No, we're very humbled and fortunate that clients come to us in a lot of different ways, but honestly, one of the most common ways are clients coming to us because they've been referred to us by friends or family members, people that we are currently representing or people that we've helped and had successful outcomes for in the past, which again is, we don't take that lightly at all. So, typically, people come to us after an accident, they're worried, they have a lot of questions, it's really stressful. A lot of things are coming at them in different ways. The insurance company's trying to make them do things they shouldn't be doing, and ultimately they come to us so that we can weather the storm and get them to a kind of a brighter days.
What really is the most common cause of car accidents?
It's definitely distracted driving, especially texting and driving. It's gotten really, really bad, to be perfectly honest. Of course, there's a lot of different causes of accidents, but when we see a T-bone accident, say somebody running through a red light or through a stop sign and hitting somebody, or somebody rear-ending somebody else, it's astonishing how many times you hear that it's because he or she was on their phone. And
that's evidence-based easy for you, right? Because all you do is request the phone records and see that the person was texting.
Exactly. And lots of times people actually admit it, but if they don't, we'll get to the bottom of it, that's for sure.
So what are the most important actions that people should do after they've been in a car accident? Can you give us some news you can use, like specific things we need to do when it happens?
Sure. So take yourself to the scene of the accident. Number one, for sure, is check on yourself, check on others involved. If anyone's hurt, you will need to immediately call the ambulance or call 911. You really should do that no matter what, though. It's sad, but how many times people then find out maybe a couple weeks later how seriously injured they really are.
And so does everyone always have to call the police when there's been a car accident?
Yes, I think you should no matter what. Even if you don't think anybody's hurt and there's just property damage, you really should call, have that report. There's a really short deadline by which one of these reports has to be filed, and it can be much more difficult for a firm like ours to help you if there isn't a report.
So let's talk about the basic rights. If somebody has been injured by another party, what kinds of actions should they take?
Sure. So first off, you have the right to seek compensation from the responsible party. And typically, there's an insurance company behind that party, whether it's an individual or a corporation. They have insurance that's there, right? And you have the right to hire an attorney or a law firm like ours to go toe-to-toe with that insurance company to get you, the compensation you deserve, which could be paying for your medical bills, which could be wildly expensive, and most people can't afford that, or past and future pain and suffering, or economic loss. A lot of times, obviously, people are injured and they can't go to work. And they're worried, like, how am I going to put food on the table for my family? How am I going to pay the mortgage? And ultimately, that's what we're there to do, and that's your right, is to seek that compensation.
All right, let's talk a little bit about settlements. How does the process of getting a settlement work?
Sure. So first and foremost, somebody hires a firm like ours, and then we immediately notify the insurance company that we represent this person. And then that is when the journey begins. Sometimes we can get somebody an adequate settlement or even a great settlement, honestly, without ever having to file a lawsuit. But oftentimes we do have to file a lawsuit and then basically go through the process through the court system and let somebody really tell their story. The vast majority of our clients never see the inside of a courtroom, which I'm sure they're very happy about, and we do our best.
I bet you write some nasty lawyer letters.
Well, look, I mean, we are definitely aggressive with the insurance companies because we have to be. We have to stand up to them, and they need to know that, hey, if you do not pay our clients what they deserve, we are going to take you to a trial, and you may get hit for a lot more than you would have if you just settled the case years before we end up at a trial.
We've touched on this before, but just in case someone has just tuned in, what is the cost of car accident representation?
Absolutely nothing, in the sense that we only get paid if we win. We lay out all the expenses, we cover all of that, and if and only if we win, we get our attorney's fees and we get our expenses back. That's it. No tricks, no exceptions. That's it. And even if there was an unfortunate case where we ended up losing a case, our clients owe us nothing. So there's literally no financial risk at all.
Wow, that is such good information to know, especially those who have suffered injury from a car accident. John, you've shared some very important information with our viewers. Let's take a moment now to let anyone who has questions about the rights they have if they've suffered serious injury as a result of the negligent actions of others to call our helpline. We'll be right back.
Have you or a loved one been seriously injured due to the reckless or careless actions of another? You may be entitled to significant compensation, and the law firm to call for the legal guidance you need is Richmond Vona LLC. As one of Buffalo and Western New York's top personal injury law firms, Richmond Vona LLC works tirelessly, advocating for the legal rights and financial interests of its clients, successfully recovering over $175 million in verdicts and settlements. At Richmond Vona LLC, their personal injury attorneys have the skills, experience, and tenacity to go up against large corporations and insurance companies in order to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. Whether your injuries are caused by an auto, truck, or bus accident, a dog bite, or an on-the-job injury, or any other reckless or careless action of another, Richmond Vona LLC will help you understand your options and work to protect your rights to a fair recovery. There's no fee unless they win. Call Richmond Vona LLC now.
Welcome back to our show. I'm Dr. Wendy Walsh, and with me today is John Richmond, co-founding partner of Richmond Vona LLC law firm. Our topic on today's program is the protection of the rights of viewers who've been seriously injured as a result of the negligent actions of others. Now, does your firm handle cases of people involved in truck accidents, and what steps should be taken specifically if they've been in an accident with a truck?
Sure. So again, like in any accident, the most important thing is, after a truck accident, is to immediately get medical attention. Even if you're unsure whether or not you're hurt, it's really important. Take that ambulance ride. You're not going to have to pay for it. Insurance is going to cover it. Get evaluated, and after the dust is settled, immediately call a truck accident attorney like our law firm. We need to get our first response team out as quickly as possible, because in a truck accident, the defendant or the truck company or the various companies involved, they will have people on scene immediately collecting evidence, taking witness statements. So it's really important that we're brought in right away. We can preserve all evidence, pull the black box out of the trucks, get the cameras, and make sure that we're putting our best foot forward from day one.
Now, who can be held liable for damages in accidents where a truck is involved?
In truck accident cases, there can be quite a few parties potentially who could be liable. So it could be the driver, it could be the driver's employer, it could be the owner of the tractor, or the owner of the trailer. There's a lot of different entities and maybe even more. So that's why it's really important to hire an experienced trucking accident attorney like our firm so that we can make sure we identify all available potential defendants and all available potential insurance policies.
Are bus accident cases handled any differently than truck accident cases?
There are some similarities, but I think the biggest difference is typically a bus involves a municipal entity. So that could be a city bus or a school bus. And it's really important to hire an attorney like us right away, or a law firm like us, because there are these much shorter filing requirements that you have in those cases. And if you miss them, you'll be barred from ever bringing a claim.
Many of our viewers are motorcycle riders. Does your firm handle these claims?
We do, and myself and Keith Vona both used to ride motorcycles, so we have a really good understanding of the rules and ultimately a really good understanding of the risks associated with riding motorcycles. And we have a lot of experience handling motorcycle cases, and so we take those cases, of course, really seriously like other ones, and unfortunately, usually the injuries are pretty serious.
What about a little slower pace now? What about bicycle riders? Does your firm handle claims where people have been riding their bikes and injured?
We do, and actually we've unfortunately seen a really big uptick in bicycle injuries, I think partially because of all the new bike lanes, which are great, that have been put in Buffalo and Rochester and all the surrounding areas. But unfortunately, again, because people are driving, they're distracted, they're texting, there's some serious bike accident injuries. And as you can imagine, when there's a bicycle rider impacted by a car or a truck, the injury can be pretty serious, and we have a lot of experience handling those cases.
Another related area, related to the ones we've discussed already, would be viewers who have been injured as pedestrians. Can you tell us about your firm's approach to these kind of cases?
Sure. Again, of course, we take every case really seriously. But as you can imagine, when somebody or a pedestrian is hit by a car or a truck, the injuries are really serious. And it's really important for us to get on scene as quickly as possible, start that investigation, go to neighboring businesses and try to pull video footage to try to really capture what happened and make sure the insurance company for the driver who hit the person doesn't try to put blame on the pedestrian, because they try to do that. Oh, you shouldn't have been crossing here, or this person had a light. And we take great pride in getting involved right away and say, no, that's not what happened. Our person's not at fault, and we're going to get them highly compensated.
Wow. If a viewer has suffered a serious injury we're talking about pedestrians now, not being hit by cars, but a slip and fall injury, maybe it's a commercial building or maybe a city sidewalk or even in front of somebody's private sidewalk, do they have any rights?
They do. So most property owners have insurance, so whether it's a commercial property owner, so you're a mall or a restaurant, or you slip and fall in front of somebody's house, the insurance company is going to step up and be the one that we have to go to and battle with to get you compensation. But whether you're at somebody's residence or at a commercial property, the owner owes you a duty of care, like we talked about earlier. They have to warn you about dangerous conditions that they know or should know about. And if they don't, or if they don't cure those conditions and you're injured as a result, they can be held liable.
John, you've shared some very important information with our viewers. Let's take a moment now to let anyone who has questions about the rights they have, if they've suffered serious injury as a result of the negligent actions of others, to call our helpline. We'll be right back.
Have you or a loved one been seriously injured due to the reckless or careless actions of another? You may be entitled to significant compensation, and the law firm to call for the legal guidance you need is Richmond Vona LLC. As one of Buffalo and Western New York's top personal injury law firms, Richmond Vona LLC works tirelessly, advocating for the legal rights and financial interests of its clients, successfully recovering over $175 million in verdicts and settlements. At Richmond Vona LLC, their personal injury attorneys have the skills, experience, and tenacity to go up against large corporations and insurance companies in order to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. Whether your injuries are caused by an auto, truck, or bus accident, a dog bite, or an on-the-job injury, or any other reckless or careless action of another, Richmond Vona LLC will help you understand your options and work to protect your rights to a fair recovery. There's no fee unless they win. Call Richmond Vona LLC now.
Welcome back to our show. I'm Dr. Wendy Walsh, and with me today is John Richmond, co-founding partner of Richmond Vona LLC law firm. Our topic on today's program is the protection of the rights of viewers who've been seriously injured as a result of the negligent action of others. Now, another personal injury liability claim that seems to be in the news a lot lately is when people are seriously injured due to being bitten by someone's dog. You hear so much about pit bull problems, and there are other breeds that are particularly dangerous. Do you handle these kind of cases?
We do. We've had a lot of success with them, and unfortunately, they can be pretty sad cases, and I think they often result in much more serious injuries than people realize. Oftentimes, bites to people's faces that leave permanent scarring. And it's our job to get in right away because they're tough cases, and we have to prove that that dog that hurt somebody, that bit somebody, that the owner knew or should have known that that dog had vicious propensities. And as you can imagine, I get it. I'm a dog owner myself. I love dogs, and people really jump in and want to protect their dogs. So you got to get in right away and investigate and put your best foot forward from day one.
Okay. Not just personal injury when it comes to slipping and falling or dogs or bicycles. Let's talk about workplace, and particularly construction, right? Construction workers, when they've suffered an injury, it can have a major impact on their lives. How does your firm handle these cases?
Again, kind of like trucking cases, these cases end up in really, really serious injuries, and we have to get involved right away. Start investigating, get the best experts on board before the other side tries to get them. And again, we take these cases really seriously because we know how serious the injuries are. I mean, these are hardworking men and women who are really seriously hurt. And I think the one thing that people need to understand is, yeah, in some situations, you may only have a right to seek workers' compensation benefits, but very often, it's not just workers' compensation. There could be a third party who's not your employer who bears responsibility, and you could be entitled to compensation from them as well.
And you're finding toxic work environments even from decades earlier. You're able to make a connection.
That's right, especially in the asbestos cases with, sadly, mesothelioma and lung cancer. People are exposed to asbestos, but they don't get sick for many, many, many years later, 20 to 50 years later. But we work hard to put the pieces of the puzzle together to get them the compensation they deserve.
Now, John, when a viewer or their loved one has been catastrophically injured in an accident or suffered wrongful death in any of these areas that we talked about today, how can Richmond Vona protect their rights?
We get involved right away from day one. We really get to know you as a person and understand how the death of a loved one is affecting you and your family. And we let the insurance company know from day one, you're not dealing with some firms that are going to take lowball settlements to get people out the door. We're going to fight to the end, and we're going to get every single penny that you and your family deserve. And we're really proud of our work on wrongful death cases because, of course, tragedy strikes really hard in those cases. And we take our jobs very seriously. We're very, very compassionate, our team. We understand these are real people who have suffered a real loss, and we're proud to represent people in cases like that.
And I have to ask about another very sensitive topic. With the aging population in our country, we are seeing an increase in nursing home residency, and now we're hearing more about nursing home abuse. Does your firm handle these kinds of claims? We
do. We have some attorneys at our firm who are very experienced in nursing home abuse cases. It's really sad because the elderly population deserves to have dignity. They deserve to be taken care of in a respectful manner. But unfortunately, a lot of nursing homes are overcrowded and understaffed. And we see a lot of bad injuries like bed sores and bad falls that result in serious injuries. And we take great pride in representing the elderly population who really deserve it.
Yeah, those must be heartbreaking cases.
Definitely.
There are other things that hurt people. Products, medical devices. Do you also handle these kinds of claims? We
do. We've had a lot of success in product liability or helping people when injured as a result of dangerous products or dangerous medical devices. And again, it's similar to the asbestos litigation, which essentially is product liability, but we've handled everything from faulty hip cases, again, to dangerous products or exploding products. And again, the manufacturers owe a duty to people. If you're gonna sell a product for a lot of money and make a lot of money off it, it has to be safe. And if it's not, you just gotta warn about it. And unfortunately, it's all too common to have dangerous products on the market, and there's no warnings about them.
You mentioned briefly asbestos, the liability that companies have for exposing their employees to asbestos. Can you tell us more about your asbestos cases?
Sure. So Keith and I are very proud of having over 30 years of combined experience representing hardworking men and women throughout Western New York and throughout New York State who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma or lung cancer. And that's really, they're really sad cases because these companies knew that asbestos was dangerous. They didn't warn anybody. And these hardworking men and women now 20 to 50 years later are getting terminal cancer. And it's not just affecting them, it's affecting their families. And we take great pride in knowing the ins and outs of all the major asbestos job sites, the steel mills, the chemical companies. We know all the ins and outs. We know who made everything there and who sold it there. And we fight hard to hold those companies responsible on behalf of our clients.
So you're aware of the other cases that happened in the same workplaces. Well, John, today on our show, we've covered a number of personal injury areas where Richmond Vona LLC definitely protects the rights of people injured by the actions of others. Are there any other areas that I've forgotten that we really should discuss?
Sure. Dr. Walsh, I would just say that if you've been injured due to the negligence of somebody else, whether it's a medical professional or injured at an establishment and you felt like there wasn't good enough security, or injured at a concert or whatever it may be, if you feel that you were injured and it wasn't really your fault, give us a call. Let us look into it. Again, we only work on a contingency fee. All consultations are free. There's no financial risk. Let us see if we can help you and get you the money that you deserve.
Can you tell our viewers a little more about the recoveries that you're most proud of?
Sure. We're very proud of a lot of seven-figure recoveries in trucking accident cases or motor vehicle accident cases or asbestos cases. But to be honest with you, we're proud about all of our settlements, all of our resolutions for our clients. Because look, it's easy for firms like ours to only talk about the big ones, but there's a lot of settlements out there, or most settlements aren't millions and millions of dollars, but that's good because that means people hopefully weren't permanently or tragically injured. But we treat every single person the same. It doesn't matter if your case is worth $10 million or $10,000, you get the same treatment, the same excellent high level of care and of legal representation, and we take that really seriously and we're proud of it.
Now, in doing my research on your firm, I see that Richmond Vona has also made a serious commitment to the communities you serve. Tell us a little more about how your firm's commitment to these communities goes beyond just legal representation.
Sure. I mean, we feel a great responsibility to the community to help make it safer, to give back. So we have a program internally called the Monthly Acts of Kindness, where we go out into the community and we volunteer. We donate to a lot of causes. We have an annual scholarship. I mean, we just think it's really, really important to give back and show people like, hey, we're a member of this community too. We want it to be safer. We want to create more opportunity for people. And it's something our team has really gotten behind, and we're really proud of them for it.
John, the information you've given us today will be so helpful to many of our viewers and their families who have suffered injury as a result of the action of others. It's obvious that Richmond Vona is a law firm that really cares about its clients and will do whatever it takes to hold responsible parties accountable. And this will make difficult times a little easier for your clients. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And to those watching our show today, thank you for joining us.
Have you or a loved one been seriously injured due to the reckless or careless actions of another? You may be entitled to significant compensation, and the law firm to call for the legal guidance you need is Richmond Vona LLC. As one of Buffalo and Western New York's top personal injury law firms, Richmond Vona LLC works tirelessly, advocating for the legal rights and financial interests of its clients, successfully recovering over $175 million in verdicts and settlements. At Richmond Vona LLC, their personal injury attorneys have the skills, experience, and tenacity to go up against large corporations and insurance companies in order to fight for the justice and compensation you deserve. Whether your injuries are caused by an auto, truck, or bus accident, a dog bite, or an on-the-job injury, or any other reckless or careless action of another, Richmond Vona LLC will help you understand your options and work to protect your rights to a fair recovery. There's no fee unless they win. Call Richmond Vona LLC now.
This program was paid for by Richmond Vona LLC.